Thank you for watching. I played this on a recent Unfair run, before the run I'm doing now, which is Unfair Plus. This one was played on Unfair, and I believe this to be a pretty optimized combo, Blaster Caster plus DC Caster all in one, with also capabilities to fight in melee by the end of the game, which is quite rare. You can switch play styles as you please, basically. So it's actually a pretty versatile build in that regard. But it is specialized in dealing quite a bit of damage with Hellfire Rays, or just outright killing things with illusion spells. Go for life gain, we're going to go just for a maximized ray. Okay, so you can see what it's what it can do on rays. Not to mention, I could probably have killed it with weird or phantasmal killer as well. I checked the DCs and it pretty much had no chance against those either. We cast the Hellfire. We did already. That's already over 3 damage. It died, of course, and then on top of that, maybe around 1,000. So 4,000 damage there, one cast. Yeah, so like 71s if you want. So let's go. For here, I have a Skald who's practically taking 3 levels in Shadow Shaman here. Flame Shadow Shaman to be precise, to have like a flame curse, to put vulnerability of fire on people. You want to blast with a very thick Hellfire Ray, basically. And other than that, I also have a judge here, like a classic enchantment judge, 16 judge, 3 lore master, 1 cross-blooded, going into undead. It's basically how you build an enchantment cleric, but here you build like an enchantment judge kind of thing with Fey undead, with the judge inquisitor adding nice damage boosts if you want from sentence and destructive aura through destruction domain and judgment aura. So like they can boost damage on race quite a bit. Then you have your paladin. Here's a brown fur, for instance, and here's a tank frontliner who's not Ninu. I just respect her to be a court poet here on this particular run. Okay, detailed leveling. First, you will go Titan Fighter at level 1. Then, doesn't matter. You can go human for the extra feats. Extra feats are good. I'm gonna go elf and do the minimal here. Elf is really better just because you have access to elven weapon familiarity, which is probably a pretty good thing for your build, and your stats are already kind of ideal that way, ideally boosted with intelligence and dex. Go basic. And then Scholar Arcane is always good, or Pickpocket as usual. Basically, you're interested in 19 int, and this doesn't matter. And then this is as much as possible, and now you can play around, like with 12 con for safety, for instance. A little bit of strength, doesn't really matter. Bit of wisdom, and you usually have 1 point to spare. You can put it in, say, wisdom. Skills you can specialize in, get a bit of mobility. Always goes like stealth, arcana early. As you get more skill points, use magic device, perception, stuff like that. But now you immediately switch to wizard and go elemental specialist. And then just continue boosting some skills. You get a wizard bonus feat, which is great. Means Grease will be pretty good the moment you get it. And get good initiative here with hare. And then opposition schools would be, you can't, this is your special school evocation. Opposition schools would be abjuration. Let's see, divination, you only will want to use very few spells from divination ever. And necromancy. Necromancy hurts a bit because skeletons are kind of useful for you, but in the long run, I'd rather use enchantment schools and boost people with heroism, greater heroism, stuff like that, and not lose out too much on that than skellies and fire. And then initially, when you're early, of course you specialized in Conjuration, so of course you go for the grease, go for like expedient retreat, you go for magic missiles. Those will be your early source of damage. Maybe ear-piercing scream, burning hands, just the regular stuff like reduce, enlarge, vanish. Spell penetration. Haste, keen edge, and then learn other things. All right. As you see here, you can immediately get Lore Master, and we will. Because honestly, you don't want to go over 5 elemental specialists for the build to work. That's the whole thing here. And then here, but here you have more flexibility by this point. Greater spell penetration. Wizard, and then Rogue Secret, Combat Trick, improved critical, Ray. Once you're here, you want to get to level 4 spells, right? So you can already qualify for Eldritch Knight. Unfortunately, it doesn't do anything for you yet. And so you take a level of Lore Master here again, which is totally fine. Boost intelligence. And by level 8, which is important for the early game, you have access to level 4 spells as a spellcaster. So you can go like improved invisibility, for instance, and around the time of Leper's Smile, what else is useful? You can go like Volcanic Storm, Control Blast, Fireball, or you can go Shout, which is almost even better. You have level 4 spells now, you're set. Now you can go Eldritch Knight. At this point, you pretty much go 10. You don't want to delay your spellcasting progression any further, so you just beeline all the way to 10 Eldritch Knight. All right, so after you've gone for 10 Eldritch Knight, I'm at that stage right now. You have 2 Lore Master, 10 Eldritch Knight, and 5, not 6, 5 Elemental Specialists, because see, 5. So once you reach 10 Eldritch Knight, you're going into level 19, and your feats are as follows. Conjuration here, Bolster, Arcana, Spell Penetration Greater, Arcane Armor Training, Ambuscading Spell, Improved Critical Ray. This level 13 is a very, very important marker for you, because this is the level you will have improved critical ray, improved critical ray, as well as you unlock Hellfire Ray. So this level 13 is a very important milestone for you. And then Elemental Focus Fire and Greater Elemental Focus Fire. And now you're here at level 19. From Lore Master, of course, you have improved critical ray here. And from Eldritch Knight, you have Arcane Armor Mastery, as well as improved initiative. And lastly, Lunge. And Lunge is more flexible. You can play around with either Lunge or exotic weapon proficiency S stock here, as I mentioned. to level 19, you take your last level in Lore Master. Like your skills are something like this, for instance. This is Empower spell here. Technically, you can put Empower here and put Fire here and here, but you should grab it if you want to blast. Yeah, it's better to put Empower here at 15. I made a small mistake here while leveling. And then you go for a Cleric spell, Divine Power. Although Blade Barrier is quite fun too. All right, so you have that, and you have 9th level spells finally. So like Icy Prison, Weird, stuff like that. And then at level 20, you take your last flash, and that will be Sorcerer, Geomancer. You can go Cross-Blooded as well. I'm going to go Geomancer for maximum damage, because Geomancy does add damage to your spells per level. But if you want more flexibility as a hybrid blaster, difficulty check caster, you go Cross-Blooded, you choose Red Dragon Bloodline and Arcane Bloodline. But I'm just going to go Geomancer here for now, and raise this to 24. Finish off my skills. Let's say like that. Just put 1 in each just in case. And maybe. But you get an idea. Actually, you can. I kind of like mobility. Maybe drop religion completely and just do mobility. And for your sorcerer spells, it's True Strike and then whatever, like Shield. Abundant Casting is first. You can go for the Azatawan Instrument of Freedom, or you can go for the Lich one. The Lich one's not bad either. Just one of those two. Abundant Casting, just because, you know, you live and die by your spell slots, basically. You just have to take it first, I would say. Then we do take Spell Focus Mythic Conjuration, so you continue to be very useful, at least until you get to Act 3. You take Ascendant Element Fire, so you can transition into blasting. You take Expanded Arsenal Evocation here, very important, because at this point in the game you will be transitioning away from Conjuration into Evocation spells. You take Improved Abundant Casting here. You take Improved Critical Mythic Ray here to get more damage from rays. You finally take Greater Abundant Casting at Mythic 7. You take Expanded Arsenal Illusion here. And by the way, like the DCs of your illusion spells by this point, because you went this route, Spell Focus into Expanded, will be quite high. I think you'll be getting +8 to your DC on illusion this way. And then you take Favorite Metamagic Bolstered, because Bolster is just because it's very nice to have, and you'll need it to get level 9 Hellfire rays that are empowered, intensified, and bolstered, like the rays that do most damage. If you look at my spellbook, like these bad boys, they are empowered, bolstered, and intensified, and you'll need Favorite Metamagic Bolstered to get these here in this spell slot. Otherwise, you'll have your weirds here, and some other spells like maybe Icy Prison Mass. Yeah. And check what I have in my spellbook here generally at this point. Basically, this is like a more optimized version of Nino, I would say. Yeah, okay, and Eldritch Knight 10 is chosen just because the level 10 capstone is quite good. Spell critical. It's a class that gives you like the extra feats. I know Lore Master would do too, but this is good. It gives you the extra feats needed for the build. It gives you spell critical at 10, which goes a long way to helping you stay relevant when you don't have access, or you're not using Demon Rage to still cast like 2 or 3 spells per turn, basically, once one of your rays crit, which they do, because you have improved critical on them. So that's why Eldritch Knight is chosen here. And in terms of inventory, we'll look at it. We have This is, by the way, not quite at the end of the game. This is somewhere middle of Act 5, so there's still better equipment to be had, by the way. But this is what I'm wearing. Legacy of Last Aslanti, Hide Armor of Elemental Carnage, Elemental Imbuement. That's why you like cast some form of fire damage on yourself, like a Melf's Acid Arrow, or have someone cast a bit of fire damage on you, so you boost your damage even more with this. Malandar, Arcane Eradication Gloves, Arcane Persistent Boots, Scorching Bracers, Triumphant Advance, Ring of Pyromania is still good, your Demon Mythic Cloak, and then some goggles. I'm sure there's better ones. And then Initiative Helm is always nice. Yeah, you are riding the Triceratops. And this is the interesting thing here with the weapons. So because of Titan Fighter, you can dual wield something like these two staffs for like massive boosts to your DC. You can, and then as I mentioned, if you don't have exotic weapon proficiency in S-Stocks, for your attack weapon, you'd use something like Second Chance here. Because it does help with hit chance, obviously, if you read its ability. And it has a very nice threat range. And then otherwise, if you did take something like exotic weapon proficiency S-Stock instead of lunge, you can go for this Act 5 weapon, which is called Destroyer of Planes. You can get it from the Wandering Merchant. And it has less of a threat range, unfortunately, because it's not keen, although you can put keen edge on it. But the important thing is it's agile. And that's very rare. It's an endgame weapon that is agile, which means all you need is weapon finesse, basically, to use it with your dex score. And it boosts evocation DC. So it's a great weapon for a Gish. Yeah, so that's kind of wanted to share this build. Thank you for watching. And I do believe like 4k on a ray attack and 70, 75 DC by endgame is pretty damn good. So I'd be happy if you found this video helpful, and try out, like, if you want to play a blaster caster, definitely go this way. I would say with like a 10 Eldritch Knight core, 5 elemental wizard, just to get the element, all your spell damage to one element, in this case being fire, and then the lore master for the extra feats you want, like the improved crit and the divine power. And then these are more flexible, but actually they are optimal Titan Fighter and Geomancer.